The Silent Forge. The stars had always watched in silence. For centuries, the vast emptiness of space remained undisturbed by the small blue planet called Earth. Humanity, once confined to their cradle world, had been struck down when they dared to venture beyond. 27 years ago, the Corval Imperium found Earth's first interstellar colony and eliminated it without warning or mercy. When Earth protested, the Corval sent a message, a kinetic bombardment that shattered the northern hemisphere and killed billions. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean floor, in a facility known only as the Forge, Director Alexis Dwork stood before a massive viewscreen displaying humanity's response. It had taken nearly 3 decades of silent work, of resources hidden from the watchful eyes above, of brilliance and determination, forged in the crucible of grief. The Nemesis. It wasn't just a ship. It wasn't just a weapon. It was the physical manifestation of humanity's refusal to disappear. Black as the void itself, the vessel stretched over 7 kilometers from bow to stern, its hull composed of materials that shouldn't exist according to known physics. The Nemesis absorbed light rather than reflected it, a shadow given form and purpose. Final systems check complete, announced Chief Engineer Marcus Okafor, his voice echoing through the command center. All green across the board. Rourke nodded without speaking. Words seemed inadequate for this moment. 27 years of her life had led to this day. She had been a young physicist when the Corval struck. Her family had been in Toronto. She remembered watching the city disappear in a flash of light from an orbital relay feed before communications went dark. Captain Chen has boarded and assumed command, Marcus continued. Crew complement is at 100%. Launch window opens in 30 minutes. In the captain's quarters aboard the Nemesis, Miranda Chen fastened the final button on her uniform. Dark blue with silver trim, the colors of Earth's unified defense force. At 42, she carried herself with the quiet confidence of someone who had nothing left to lose. Her parents had been astronauts on humanity's first extrasolar vessel. She had been 16 when the Corval eliminated them without warning. Captain to the bridge, came the announcement over the ship's comm system. The corridors of the Nemesis were unlike any vessel before it. Where most ships emphasized utility, this one carried subtle touches of elegance. Humanity's finest achievement would also showcase humanity's spirit. Subtle lighting illuminated artwork along the bulkheads. Pieces saved from museums destroyed in the attack. Each step through the ship was a walk through what remained of human culture. The bridge crew stood as Chen entered. 12 men and women, each selected not just for their skills, but for their connection to the attack. Each carried a personal reason to be here. She nodded once, and they took their stations. Status report, Chen ordered as she settled into the command chair. Lieutenant Commander Hiroshi Nakamura, her executive officer, approached with a datapad. All systems nominal, Captain. The Forge report's launch window is clear. Orbital defense grid is prepared to create our exit corridor. Chen took the datapad, scanning the final preparations. And our passenger. Ambassador Reynolds is secured in his quarters. He's reviewed the first contact protocols and stands ready. Chen handed back the datapad. Very well. Begin launch countdown. T-minus 20 minutes. High above Earth, in geosynchronous orbit, the Corval monitoring station maintained its vigilant watch. For nearly 3 decades, the 4-person crew had observed the defeated planet, ensuring compliance and submission. Commander Vexlor found the assignment tedious but necessary. Humans had proven surprisingly resilient after the punishment. Rather than collapsing entirely, they had stabilized, rebuilt, and maintained a primitive but functional global civilization. Commander, called Sensor Technician Zhao, I'm detecting unusual energy fluctuations in the Pacific Ocean region. Vexlor moved to the sensor station with 4 quick strides of his long, jointed legs. Probable cause. Unknown. Signatures don't match any known human technology. Tectonic activity is also unlikely given the pattern. Increased scan resolution. Alert Imperial Command of a potential anomaly. Before Zal could comply, the station's systems suddenly went dark. Emergency lighting activated a moment later. "What happened?" Vexlor demanded. "Unknown, Commander," replied Zal, frantically working his console. "Some kind of electromagnetic pulse, but nothing like I've ever seen." Outside the station's viewport, space itself seemed to darken as water erupted from the Pacific far below. In the Forge's command center, Director Work watched as massive hydraulic platforms lifted the Nemesis toward the surface. 3 kilometers of water parted as the vessel rose, a technological leviathan emerging from the depths. "The Corval observation platform has been neutralized," reported a technician. "Localized disruption field holding steady. Their communications are blocked." Rourke nodded. "Defense grid status. Satellite network is primed. Exit corridor is established. All orbital debris has been cleared from the flight path." The Nemesis breached the surface, water cascading off its massive hull like waterfalls. Throughout what remained of humanity's cities, people stopped and watched their screens as public feeds showed the vessel rising. No attempt was made to hide this moment. The time for secrecy had ended. On the bridge, Captain Chen felt a slight vibration as the ship fully emerged. "Initiate gravitational compensation systems. Begin atmospheric ascent sequence." Despite its enormous size, the Nemesis rose with surprising grace. Propulsion systems unlike anything humanity had publicly revealed before pushed against Earth's gravity. The ship accelerated upward, quickly breaching the cloud layer. "Atmospheric exit in 30 seconds, reported Lieutenant Sarah Oko from the navigation station. "Corval platform is still offline." "Maintain course," Chen ordered, her eyes fixed on the main view screen as blue sky darkened to black. Stars appeared, no longer obscured by atmosphere. "Deploy sensor array. Full spectrum sweep." The ship shuddered slightly as massive sensor panels unfolded from recessed compartments along the hull. The Nemesis didn't just see with electromagnetic radiation. It felt gravitational waves, detected quantum fluctuations, and mapped subspace distortions. "Captain," called Lieutenant Oko, tension evident in her voice. "Multiple contacts detected at the edge of the system. Configuration matches Corval patrol vessels. They're on an intercept course." Chen's expression remained impassive. "Time to intercept. At current velocities, 43 minutes. That's more time than we need. Power up the Chimera drive." Throughout the ship, a low hum began to build as the revolutionary propulsion system activated. Based on principles discovered in the aftermath of the attack, the Chimera drive didn't push the ship through space. It pulled space around the ship. In the Corval Patrol Squadron, Commander Drez watched with growing concern as his sensors tracked the massive human vessel ascending from Earth. "Impossible," he muttered, mandibles clicking in agitation. "Their technology was primitive. We made certain of it." "The vessel's mass exceeds anything in our patrol group," reported his second-in-command. "Energy readings are..." "Commander, these can't be correct. The output levels would match a planetary power grid." "Transmit to Imperial Command. Request immediate reinforcements." Drez's compound eyes narrowed as he studied the tactical display. "Prepare weapons. If the humans have somehow built a warship, we will remind them of their place." Back aboard the Nemesis, the bridge crew worked with practiced efficiency as the Chimera drive reached operational capacity. "Drive nominal," Captain, reported Chief Engineer Okafor over the comm. "Ready at your command." Chen nodded. "Lieutenant Oko, plot course to waypoint Alpha." "Commander Nakamura, send the message." Nakamura moved to the communications station and activated a specific protocol. Across all frequencies in every language encountered in humanity's brief interstellar experience, a message began to transmit. "This is the Earth vessel Nemesis. For 27 years, we have rebuilt in silence. We have remembered those you took from us. We have prepared. Today, humanity returns to the stars. Not as victims, not as supplicants, but as equals. Any act of aggression against Earth or her interests will be met with appropriate response. We seek neither conquest nor revenge. We seek only our rightful place among the stars. Remember this ship. Remember this day. Humanity will be silent no more. As the message completed its broadcast, Chen gave the final order: engage Chimera Drive. Space around the massive vessel seemed to bend and fold. Stars on the viewscreen stretched and blurred. In a flash of displaced energy, the Nemesis vanished from Earth orbit. In the Corval Patrol Squadron, alarms blared as sensors detected the impossible energy spike followed by the human vessel's disappearance. "Where did they go?" demanded Commander Drez. "Unknown, Commander. Nothing on our sensors. No residual warp signature. They're simply gone." Drez stared at the empty space where the human vessel had been moments before. For the first time in his military career, he felt something unfamiliar crawl along his exoskeleton. Fear. At Waypoint Alpha, a remote star system 12 light-years from Earth, the Nemesis emerged from its chimera-induced journey. The transition was smoother than conventional, faster than light travel, with none of the spatial distortion that normally accompanied such journeys. "Transition complete," reported Lieutenant Ocho. "All systems nominal." Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Begin active scanning. Let's see who's in the neighborhood." The human silence was over. The galaxy would soon learn what had been forged in the quiet years, and the stars would never be the same. Echoes across the stars. Word traveled faster than ships. Across the major galactic powers, the unexpected emergence of a human warship sparked confusion, concern, and in some chambers, outright panic. The Corval Imperium, which had considered Earth a subjugated world, found itself in a particularly uncomfortable position as recordings of the Nemesis spread through communication relays. In the grand chamber of the Corval Imperium, Emperor Xeltar clicked his mandibles in agitation as his ministers argued around the circular table. The chamber's vaulted ceiling, designed to emphasize the Emperor's chittering voice, now amplified the chaotic debate. "The humans were broken," insisted War Minister Kravax. "Our bombardment set them back centuries. This vessel should not exist." Science Minister Velnera's antennae twitched with irritation. Clearly our assessment was flawed. The energy readings from this Nemesis indicate technological advancement well beyond their previous capabilities. "What matters," interjected Diplomat Minister Zexor, "is how we respond. The humans have announced their return to interstellar space. They have not directly threatened us, but the implication is clear." Emperor Xeltar raised a clawed appendage, silencing the chamber. "Send a battle group. Find this human vessel. Determine its capabilities. If it represents a genuine threat, eliminate it. The humans were given their lesson once. They may require a second." Aboard the Nemesis, Captain Chen studied the star map displayed on the bridge's central holographic projector. Waypoint Alpha had been chosen specifically for its strategic value, an uninhabited system with plentiful resources, positioned at the intersection of several major trade routes. "Perimeter sensors are deployed," reported Lieutenant Commander Nakamura. "We'll have advance warning of any approaching vessels." Chen nodded. "Begin Phase 2 operations. I want mining drones deployed to the asteroid belt, and prepare Ambassador Reynolds for potential first contact scenarios." As crew members moved to comply with her orders, Chief Engineer Okafor approached the command chair. "Captain, a word in private." Chen followed Okafor to a side alcove off the main bridge. "What is it, Marcus?" "The Chimera drive performed exceptionally well, but we detected some unusual fluctuations during transition. Nothing dangerous," he added quickly, seeing her expression, "but unexpected. The drive isn't just moving us through space. There's something else happening that we don't fully understand." Chen processed this information with a measured nod. "Continue your analysis. I want to know everything about these fluctuations." "There's something else, Captain. The weapons systems. Director Work authorized me to explain their full capabilities to you only after we completed our first jump." Chen's eyes narrowed. "Go on." "The Nemesis carries what we call the Prometheus Array. It's not just a conventional weapons platform. It can Unmake matter at the quantum level. A target wouldn't just be destroyed, it would cease to exist. No debris, no radiation. Just gone. Chen felt a cold weight settle in her stomach. Has it been tested? Only on asteroids in deep space, away from observation. But it works exactly as designed. Before Chen could respond, Lieutenant Oko's voice came over the comm. Captain, to the bridge. We have multiple contacts approaching at FTL velocities. The moment of reckoning had arrived sooner than expected. When Chen returned to the bridge, the tactical display showed 5 vessels approaching Waypoint Alpha. Their configuration was unmistakable. Corval battle cruisers. Time to intercept? Chen asked. 17 minutes, Captain, replied Lieutenant Ocho. They're maintaining formation and have active weapon signatures. Chen settled into the command chair. Alert Ambassador Reynolds. Sound General Quarters. Deploy defense drones to intercept positions. Throughout the massive vessel, crew members moved with purpose as status lights shifted from blue to red. The Nemesis had been built for this moment, to stand against those who had nearly eradicated humanity. From a concealed compartment along the hull, dozens of small autonomous drones launched into space, taking up positions around the Nemesis. They were not mere defensive units. Each carried advanced sensor packages and countermeasure systems designed to confuse and misdirect enemy targeting systems. In the lead Corval vessel, Fleet Commander Drexfor watched the tactical display with growing concern. The human vessel is deploying something. Small craft or weapons platforms. We're detecting unusual energy patterns, Commander reported his tactical officer. Our sensors are having difficulty maintaining a lock on the primary vessel. Drexfor's mandibles clicked in annoyance. Maintain course. Prepare main batteries. The humans will not be given the opportunity to use whatever weapons they've managed to develop. Aboard the Nemesis, Ambassador Thomas Reynolds entered the bridge. At 63, he was one of the few diplomats with pre-attack experience in alien negotiations. His presence had been insisted upon by the United Earth Council, a reminder that despite building a warship, humanity still sought peaceful coexistence. Captain Chen, he acknowledged with a nod. I see our Corval friends have decided to welcome us back to the galactic community. They've deployed with active weapon signatures, Chen replied. I doubt they're here to exchange pleasantries. Reynolds moved to stand beside her chair. Nevertheless, diplomatic protocol requires we attempt communication before assuming hostile intent. Chen nodded to the communications officer. Open a channel. On the main view screen, the image of Fleet Commander Drexfor appeared, his chitinous features unreadable to human eyes. Human vessel. The Corval commander began without preamble. You have violated Imperial decree by deploying military assets to space. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. Compliance will be rewarded with mercy. Ambassador Reynolds stepped forward. Commander, I am Ambassador Thomas Reynolds of the United Earth Government. We do not recognize any imperial decree limiting Earth's sovereign right to space travel. The Nemesis is on a peaceful mission of exploration and security. We have no hostile intentions toward the Corval Imperium, provided our autonomy is respected. Drexfor's compound eyes seemed to glitter. Your species was granted the privilege of continued existence following your transgression. That privilege can be revoked. You have 5 minutes to comply with our demands. The transmission ended abruptly. Well, said Reynolds dryly, that went about as expected. Chen turned to her tactical officer. Status of the Corval battle group. They're taking up attack positions, Captain. Energy readings indicate weapons charging. Chen's decision wasn't made lightly. 27 years of human suffering, of rebuilding from near extinction, weighed on her shoulders. Activate defensive shields. Prepare countermeasures. But hold the Prometheus array in reserve. As the Corval vessels moved into attack formation, the space around the Nemesis began to shimmer as its advanced defensive systems activated. Unlike conventional shields, these didn't simply absorb or deflect energy. They altered the fundamental properties of space-time in the vessel's immediate vicinity. The first Corval cruiser fired, bright lances of particle beams streaking toward the human vessel. Instead of impacting against shields, the beams seemed to bend around the Nemesis, their trajectories altered by the distorted space. "No damage," reported the tactical officer. "Defensive systems functioning at optimal parameters." Chen nodded. "Launch countermeasure package Alpha. Target their weapons and propulsion systems only." From the Nemesis, a swarm of microscopic drones deployed, each barely visible to the naked eye. They accelerated toward the Corval vessels, bypassing conventional defenses through their size and speed. Upon reaching their targets, they attached to hull sections containing critical systems and began their work, not destroying, but temporarily disabling. Aboard the lead Corval cruiser, systems began failing in cascading sequence. Weapons went offline. Engines sputtered and died. Communications equipment ceased functioning. "What is happening?" demanded Fleet Commander Drexvor as his bridge plunged into emergency lighting. "Unknown, Commander," replied his increasingly panicked tactical officer. "Some kind of technological infection. It's spreading through all critical systems." Within minutes, all 5 Corval vessels drifted powerless, their crews unable to attack or retreat. On the Nemesis bridge, Ambassador Reynolds watched the disabled Corval fleet with a mixture of satisfaction and concern. "An impressive demonstration, Captain. But what happens next will determine whether we've prevented a war or started one." Chen nodded. "Open a channel to the Corval command vessel." When Drexvor's image appeared on screen again, the commander's posture conveyed barely contained rage. "Your vessels have been temporarily disabled," Chen stated calmly. "Your life support systems remain functional. Power will be restored in approximately 6 hours, enough time for you to return to Corval space with a message. Earth is no longer your silent victim. We have the technology to defend ourselves, and we will do so if threatened. But we do not seek conflict. Return to your space, and we will remain in ours." Before Drexvor could respond, Ambassador Reynolds added, "We also extend an invitation for diplomatic talks to establish formal relations between our civilizations. Humanity wishes to join the galactic community as equals, not subjects. The choice of how we proceed belongs to the Corval Imperium as much as it does to us." The transmission ended, leaving the Corval commander in stunned silence. For the first time in Imperial history, humans had dictated terms. News of the encounter spread rapidly. The Corval battle group's defeat, without a single casualty on either side, sent shockwaves through galactic political circles. The Nemesis had demonstrated not just advanced technology, but restrained power. They could have destroyed the Corval vessels, but chose temporary disablement instead. 3 weeks later, Captain Chen stood in the observation lounge of the Nemesis, watching as vessels from 7 major galactic powers entered the Waypoint Alpha system. Ambassador Reynolds had worked tirelessly, using the demonstration against the Corval as leverage to arrange this unprecedented diplomatic summit. "It's quite a sight," commented Chief Engineer Okafor as he joined her at the viewport. 7 species who barely tolerate each other, all coming to talk to the upstart humans. Chen allowed herself a small smile. "We got their attention. Now we need to show them that the Nemesis isn't just a weapon. It's a statement of human resilience." "About that," Okafor said, his expression growing serious, "I've completed the analysis of the Chimera drive fluctuations. Captain, it's not just a propulsion system. Each time we activate it, it's creating minute tears in subspace. Connections to something else. I don't fully understand it yet, but there's more to this ship than even director work revealed." Chen considered this information carefully. "Continue your investigation, but keep this between us for now. Today is about establishing humanity's place in the galaxy. Tomorrow, we'll worry about what other secrets the Nemesis might hold." As the alien vessels moved into position around the human ship, Shen couldn't help but feel the weight of history. Humanity had been silenced once, nearly erased from existence. Now they returned not just with the power to defend themselves, but with the wisdom to use that power judiciously. The stars had indeed trembled when humanity unleashed its first star destroyer. But it wasn't fear alone that echoed across the cosmos. It was respect.